2 hours, 20 minutes. Matt and Lola, their passions spent, lie next to each other on the ground, their heads touching. Their semi-naked bodies glisten with sweat. Their panting subsides as their heart rates slow back down to normal after their uninhibited sex. Matt stretches his arm over his head and tugs Lola's ponytail. "Well, that was nice." "Nice? Nice? You have not had better, yes?"
"Let me think on that."
"There is nothing to think about. You will also never have better. It is like you have tasted champagne for the first time." Matt laughs.
"You're Krug all the way, baby."
Lola reaches over and caresses Matt's cheek with the back of her hand. Her fingers stroke his face. She turns her hand over, then she grabs his nose and pinches it very hard. Matt yells in pain.
"Ow, fuck!"
He jumps up and looks down at Lola. She looks up at him, then giggles.
"Jesus, you're like my sister's cat. 1 minute, I'm stroking it and it's purring away, and the next minute it's clawing the fuck out of me. You're so unpredictable."
"That is good. It is not boring. American women are boring, yes?"
"Depends on the woman."
"No, you are wrong. It depends on the man," Lola says. They stand up and dress. Matt rolls his uniform up over his torso, and he winces as the fabric brushes against several deep red gouges on his chest, caused by Lola's fingernails. Lola looks down at her claw marks. "And any man who makes me do that is worth keeping."
"Thanks,
Matt is interrupted by 2 short honks coming from the American's Humvee in the distance. "We go back. The boy has had enough time," Lola orders. Sophia jumps down from the Humvee and walks over to the Americans. They all stand around a couple of ammunition boxes stacked on top of each other. Jedi's notebook is open and rests on top of the boxes.
"What's happening?"
Cutter asks Sophia. "They're coming," Sophia says. Cutter laughs.
"They sure did."
"Oh, grow up, Cutter."
Cutter shrugs. "Never."
He turns and watches the 2 bikes race in. Lola and Matt park the KTMs, then walk over to the Americans.
"You rang?"
Matt says. "Hope I didn't interrupt anything," Sophia asks.
"It'll keep,"
Matt says. "I'm sure it will," Sophia snorts. "You'll have news?" Lola asks.
"Jedi has something he wants to go over with us,"
Books cuts in to say. He gives a go-ahead nod to Jedi.
"Floor's yours, kid."
"Thanks. So, I think I'm pretty certain I know where the next container is," Jedi says.
"Think? Well, that's not a good start,"
Lloyd says.
"Button it, Lloyd." "How come, kid?"
Cutter asks.
"Because the kid's got a brain the size of a planet. That's how come,"
Matt says. "Oh, let him speak, for Christ's sake," Sophia says. Jim looks down at Jedi's notebook.
"Go ahead, son. Show us what you got."
"Well, according to my workings, the next container should be about 10 miles. Jedi looks up at the sun, then points out over the horizon. "That way."
"You 100% certain on that?"
Books asks. Pretty much."
"Okay then, let's get a bearing and move out."
Books makes to walk over to the Humvee.
Hold on a second. Unless the kid's got a GPS implant in his head, what makes you so sure he's right?"
Lloyd asks. "Let me show you." Jedi picks up his notebook and moves it to a clear space on the salt pan. He kneels down and uses his knife to scrape out a big copy of the map into the hard ground. He talks as he works. You see, if you measure miles covered, approximate angles of the sun at given time points, and then use Lloyd interrupts.
"Mathematical mumbo-jumbo, kid. Tell me something real."
"Well, Lloyd, math is real. It's either totally right or totally wrong. Unlike the law, there is no ambiguity." Jedi adds the finishing touches, then stands back and admires his handiwork. He points to one of the containers he has drawn. "I think it's right here." He steps forward and marks an X on the ground next to the rectangular shape.
"Seems like a long shot to me,"
Lloyd says. "I trust the boy," Lola says. "We go now. We attack." She walks over to her bike and pulls out one of the M16s from the gun holster and checks it. Wait a second," Sophia says. "There is nothing to wait for, American. Now, Now who's wasting time? It's different. Before we were searching and defending. Now you want us to attack? Lola walks back over to the Americans, and she stands in front of Sophia. If there is a team there at this new container location, then we must attack them. It is the only way. It is simple. Maybe for you. Lola shakes her head, and she looks at books. If you didn't have feelings for her, I'd have buried her by now. She turns back to Sophia. There is only one way to live in this game. It is to kill other teams, yes? It is survival of the fittest. You, as an American, surely understands this. Yes, no, I don't know, Sophia interrupts herself and gazes at books. Feelings? Confused, she turns back to Lola. I don't know if I can do it. Kill someone in cold blood. What will I become? You and your baby will become alive. You will both have a chance to live. We have now only one option. Tell her, Books. We attack. Books agrees. Silence. Sophia shakes her head. Jim steps forward and looks down at Jedi's map. He scratches his head.
Son, the way you've joined up these containers looks like a number 10, or is this old man missing something?
Jedi walks around to the other side of the map. Yep, but if you stand to this side, it looks different. Jim joins him and studies the various marks on the ground.
Well, I'll be darned. They sure do. They look like letters.
That's kind of what I was thinking, Jedi says.
Wait a goddamn second. Let me take a look,
Lloyd says. He stomps around and examines the map.
What a load of horse shit.
I don't think so, Jedi explains. I think someone's trying to tell us something. Jedi points downwards at the shapes. This could be a letter O, and this could be a letter I. And if they are, and using calculus to project forward 3 more containers, Jedi uses his foot to rub 3 separate marks into the ground to represent the containers. Then if we join these up...
Hey, kid, that's a lot of ifs, if you don't mind me saying,
Matt says. Jedi uses his knife to finish off and scribes one more connecting line. We end up with this. The Americans look down at the map, astonished. Matt exclaims,
Holy fuck!
The rest of the Americans stare down at the map. Jedi has transformed the sketch into a 3-letter word. The Americans gawk at the word. Matt shakes his head.
O-I-L. Oil!